Request, I'm going to be reviewing the Hunger Games. First of all, can I just say how much I love this? Yeah, this pin. I just love it. I love the design. I love it. So a few years ago, I was first told about the Hunger Games. A friend of mine, she told me about them. She said that they were really great. They were a bit violent, but they were really, really good. And I never really got into them. I never really thought to actually try them. But just this past year, my aunt gave them to me for Christmas. She gave me the whole series, the official series. And I kid you not, I finished them in 3 days. Each one. I was just hooked, and by the time I got to the third book, I was just determined to have finished them all in 3 days. So each book took me about 24 hours. I'll start with the first one. In the first one, we meet Katniss. Of course, I love the writing style here. I love the way that she kind of talks to you. It's not a narrative in first person necessarily, but it's like she's talking to the person who's reading it. Like when she's telling you the story about the goat, how she found Prim's goat, she told the official story to us. She said, this is how this actually happened. Now, when my friend told me it was really violent, I was expecting extreme blood and gore. And personally, I don't find this terribly violent. I don't find this series exceptionally violent. I would think that something like the Criminal Minds series in book form would be something extremely violent. It is pretty violent, but it's not as bad as I was expecting it to be. Maybe that changes things. So I love the setup. I love the idea of somebody going in for Prim the way if my brother, well, okay, maybe not my brother because I'm not very close with him right now. But if my best friend were to be pulled at the reaping, I would volunteer for her. And it's something relatable, something that I think is something that would happen, and I'm proud that she did that. Now, Catching Fire was my favorite. As I just loved the fact that she had to be going in a second time. I loved meeting the new characters. I loved seeing the different kinds of people, because they are all different ages. Because they're all different people from different places, but they're not all under the age limit, the original age limit, which I thought was really cool to meet new people, new different things, like Finnick, who's older, and he has different experiences and he has different ways of handling things because he's not a teenager, he's not a child. Not that all teenagers are children, but he was more mature, and I thought that the way he handled things and the way that some other characters handled things were changed and might have been changed since they had been in the arena the first time. I also really liked the setup of the arena. Spoiler alert if you haven't read the books. I really liked the clock idea. I thought that was really cool. The way that everything was set up to go off at a certain time, that was really good. Now, Mockingjay, I can't say it was my favorite of the other two. I probably would rate them Catching Fire, Hunger Games, Mockingjay. I did like Mockingjay as well, but for me, the kind of post-apocalyptic feel that it had to it just wasn't as enjoyable as the first two. I did love it. I loved the whole series. I loved it all. And I like the way that it's been changed into the movies. I thought it was well done. And though some things had been changed, it was okay, because you have to change some things when you make something into a book. Into a movie. But, yeah, Mockingjay was good. I liked the way that Katniss approached some of the problems. I liked learning about the different people. I loved the ending. It was great. I'm not going to tell you anything about it because it's a great thing, and I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. No chances, not at all. If you haven't read them yet, I think you should. If you enjoy, it's not really a science fiction, and it's not, it's not like in a post-apocalyptic book series. No, it's kind of like a new world. Like if you've ever read Among the Hidden, it's kind of like that, where there's a certain way of doing things, and it's like there are people who are striving for a utopian society, but it's just not going to work. There's no such thing as a utopian society. You can't have one. Somebody's always going to mess it up. Somebody's going to think differently. And I don't remember which book this is from. I'm pretty sure it's in Catching Fire. When spoiler alert again, when Peeta and Katniss are in the Capitol and they're eating, they're at the whole feast thing with everybody else, with all the Capitol people, and they get introduced to that little drink that makes them so they can eat more food, and Katniss was just completely disgusted because there are people who are struggling to get enough to eat in the districts, and then people here they're just so much gluttony and greed, and they just don't understand how hard it is. And I think that's the point. The Capitol, most people in the Capitol don't even know that everybody else has it so hard. I mean, I'm sure they know that they don't have it great like they do, but they don't understand how hard it is for everybody else. Either that or they don't care. And, it's really interesting to see the different points of view, how different people go about the same problems because of what district they're from, or if they're from the Capitol, or how they think as they grow and as they progress through the series. I think some of these people had some really great character developments, and that was really, really great. And I suggest that you read it. I suggest that you add it to your collection if you have a collection. If you don't, start one and add this to it, because it is an amazing book series that just deserves all of your attention.